February. Here comes the truck I was expecting. Not really the kind of truck you want to have come visit you. So the poop truck has arrived. Back in to take care of draining my tank. So this company has done our neighbors over here, our neighbors over there, and our neighbors over there. And when he arrived, he said, "Hey, a month ago I left my tool at your neighbor's house and I couldn't remember where I left it." Well, he found it, so he retrieved his tool as well. So one of the things he said is, since the homes around here were built in the mid-90s, a lot of systems are beginning to have leach bed problems. Actually, he was really delighted that we had already uncovered the tank, and he said, "Hey, call the office, they'll give you 20 bucks off." Well, I said, maybe I shouldn't say that, but yep, I called and we saved 20 bucks, and he came to check this out, and actually he just lived, their shop is 2 minutes away from where we are. So got the lid off and began to check to see how deep it was. He said, "I betcha you're going to have 12 to 18 inches of just hard, crusty sludge I'm going to have to break up." In the end, he said our septic tank was in really good shape. It had just normal sludge and nothing really caked up, and I take that because of what we once a month have flushed down, as well as the previous owners. So what we had first seen is there was about a 10-inch diameter hole, maybe about 18 inches deep, with water in, down about 6 inches below the grass height. And when I went to check it out, it was sewer water. So we thought we better not just ignore it. So where I'm digging right now is where that water was in a pool, and when we flushed the toilet, it would go up just a little bit in level there. So I'm digging out to try to see out what the problem is while he is pumping the tank. So as I'm digging this out, I begin to find the pipe down there, and I could begin to see that the corrugated 4-inch black pipe that came out of the tank was kinked down, so that it was kinking off any water flowing out, number one, and number two, it had holes in it. So when water came out of the tank, it would just bubble up. So I decided I better dig down and find out more of what's going on. So the technician that came out to pump it, he said that he would leave just a couple inches of sludge, because that sludge in the bottom is actually what has the bacteria. So that bacteria will help to break down any solids that come into it, which is interesting to know. So got done and put the lid back on, and then he proceeded to smear a little bit of mud in the cracks and then pour cement to seal them up. So I kept digging around the pipes to try to find out what was going on to the left of the tank. And so I keep digging it out. Had a little bit of talk here. You can see the technician. He is smearing some mud into the cracks, and then he will pour a little bit of cement to seal them up. The mud is so because you don't want to glue the lid to the tank. You just want it to be able to seal it up. So the mud will actually provide a little bit of water. Won't need to add water to this. And so after smearing mud in the cracks, just leave it set there and it'll absorb moisture to harden itself.
But it would come right out of there.
So I'm digging in here and we found this. I said, well, what's that? Well, we didn't know, we threw it out. But it was the cap for this distribution box. And I've been digging. This distribution box has just been filled with sand. And so I'm going to be cleaning this out to get this so we get a good flow. So my leach bed is good, but all the problem is right here between this settling down and crimping that. That's where all my problem is. So something to be fixed. So here I am, Florida in the summer with gloves on. That's because I've been sticking my arm up these pipes to kind of drag out any sand. I took this out, which was in like this with the pipes coming into it, and this was full of sand because this cap was off, so sand could get in, and also where it connected to the tank, this was kinked down because this had settled down 2 inches. So I put some concrete pavers down and filled in with sand, cleaned this out, and replaced this. So so now, after dragging as much sand as I can up to about here, I have gotten this little auger and I'm trying to reach in, hopefully this far, just to drag anything else. Once I got back these pipes about a foot, the sand wasn't compacted anymore. So how this ever worked at all with all that sand in there, I don't know, but anyway, that's what the big problem is at first it settled and then kinked that. And so hopefully this will solve the problem for a long time.
So after my second trip to Home Depot, I got this little auger and I used it to go in about 12 inches in, or about 12 inches in each pipe. The sand started to taper off, but I wanted to be able to clean out with this auger as much as I could. So I got that to do that.
Seems to be pretty much cleaned out now.
Initially, I thought that I might just be able to clean the sand out of that distribution box and stick my hand up, but I soon realized I needed to do a little bit more extensive work than that. So I got that out and I bought some pipe, a 10-foot piece, and just needed 6 inches, and began to fit this back together. And it was a little bit of a struggle. Obviously, it's much easier when you're putting it in, but I was able to flex it up. And what I did do is I put 2 pavers down underneath and then some sand on top of that because it had sunk down. So the pavers should help keep that and pack the sand down, should help keep it at the right level. And then after that, not only did I put the pipes in, I put screws in to keep it together.
So I got my distribution box back in, and this thing here was no good, so I cut the bottom of a bucket off and put some silicone down there, and I glued it and then screwed that down. Now I'm going to put some cement around this here to hold it in place. So hopefully that'll work. Pretty good. Now I'll put this to keep dirt out of there.
I see they're taked it out and they didn't, and they didn't.
So the neighbor boy came over and asked me what I was doing. He speaks Spanish and English. Says his grandmother is trying to learn English, but I said, I'm working on the septic. He said, well, I don't, what's septic? I said, well, when you flush your toilet, this is where the water comes out. Oh yeah, they have that problem. So then he began the whole explanation of what happens when they put toilet paper down their toilet. And of course, I knew that they had it pumped last year, but they continually have problems. Now, they must have a problem in their leach bed that they're having to get it pumped, but a new system is $8,000–10,000. So he was chatting me up and telling me all about everything while I was filling this back in and getting the dirt where it needed to go and trying to keep the grass near the top, so hopefully we can have some grass continue to grow here. I had a friend from church that said he'd come over tomorrow afternoon and help me, but once I got digging it out and I realized that I could fix it, I just kept going on it. And I have another trip back to Home Depot to take some stuff back that I didn't need. You can see laying there is a snake that I didn't need to use, and so I think that I'll just take that to Home Depot if I ever need one. Home Depot is only 2 miles down the road, so it's very quick to go. So this is kind of finalizing my sewer project, and hopefully, God willing, I don't visit this again. Again, I've covered it all back up. The tank is pumped, and we'll see how it goes, and it should be much better than it has been for a long time, because this obviously is not a problem that just came quickly. And so hopefully the leach bed is in good shape, and according to the technician, what we've been putting down the toilet to break it down has been working well. So God bless you, and you all have a great day, and hope you don't have to do this yourself.